FBI says a suspect arrested at his Virginia home today will be charged in connection with pipe bombs found placed outside the headquarters of both the RNC and DNC national committees. Headquarters in Washington, D.C., those explosive devices found on the eve of the January 6th attacks at the U.S. Capitol in 2021. The suspect, identified by law enforcement officials as 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr., Attorney General Pam Bondi on the charges.
He has been charged with violating 18 U.S.C. 844, which is use of an explosive device. This investigation is ongoing. As we speak, search warrants are being executed, and there could be more charges to come.
After lawmakers received a classified briefing by Admiral Mitch Bradley today about U.S. military strikes on alleged drug boats in the Caribbean, top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Jim Himes, says he was disturbed watching Pentagon video of a second strike on a boat in September.
What I saw in that room was one of the most troubling things I've seen in my time in public service. You have two individuals in clear distress, without any means of locomotion, with a destroyed vessel, who were killed by the United States.
Himes says the admiral confirmed that there had not been a kill them all order. Secretary Hegseth says he only oversaw the first strike, and the follow-up strike was ordered by Bradley and was legal. President Trump hosting the leaders of Rwanda and Congo for a ceremony to mark a peace agreement between the two countries.
President Trump today presiding over a ceremonial signing of a peace agreement between Rwanda and Congo.
The compact we're signing today, which will be known as the Washington Accords.
The U.S. brokered the agreement in June. The foreign ministers of both countries were in the Oval Office with the president to make the announcement. Rwanda and Congo have been in conflict for decades.
ABC's Karen Travers. You're listening to ABC News.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Some promising news for potential home buyers, but what will mortgage rates look like in the new year?
Mortgage rates are down for the second week in a row. Freddie Mac's survey found the national average for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage at 6.19%. That's half a percentage point lower than this time a year ago. Federal Reserve's expected to cut interest rates next week, but economists are expecting rates to remain above 6% for most of 2026.
ABC's Brian Clark. Holiday travel is ramping up this season. One airline is handing out surprise rewards as gifts for those who are nice.
If you're flying Delta now through January 5th and a Delta employee sees you spreading holiday cheer at the airport, the airline says they'll be giving out holiday medallion cards, which can be redeemed for a surprise gift. That gift could range from Delta merch to a gift card on Delta worth up to $500. The airline says the cards will be awarded to customers who truly embody the holiday spirit with acts of kindness. It comes as the Transportation Department has launched a campaign calling on airline passengers to be kind, respectful, and to dress nicer on board planes. Alex Stone, ABC News.
An Israeli delegation went to Cairo today as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's direction, all to have talks with mediators with the aim of bringing about the immediate return of the remains of the final hostage still being held in Gaza. That according to the Prime Minister's office. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
Todd Ortline from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, December 4th. Olympic Medical Center commissioners voting unanimously yesterday to begin audio and video recording of their public meetings starting the first of the year. That's a response to growing public demand for increased transparency. The decision breaks with legal advice from the hospital district's attorney, who warned that recording would hinder open discussion and be vulnerable to manipulation. Despite those concerns, Commissioner said the public's expectation for accessibility outweighed the risks. The videos will be posted online for 6 months and then archived for 6 years in line with state law. Written minutes will remain official record. The first meeting to be recorded set for January 7th. Port Angeles City Council signed off on a nearly $200 million budget for next year, a spending plan driven largely by a surge in capital projects across the city. City Manager Nathan West told council members the budget does meet the city's long-standing goal of adopting the plan at the first meeting of December. And he says it does remain fully balanced, with revenues matching expenses as required under city policy. He noted this year's unusually large total, though, is tied to some major construction scheduled in water, wastewater, electric, and transportation infrastructure.
A couple of things to really celebrate about this budget. Number one is it's balanced, right? Expenditures and revenues are fully balanced. But number two is it's a reflection of the fact that we have worked really hard to ensure we're making a conscious choice on how we fund our capital projects. And instead of increasing taxes to fund those capital projects so that we can do them, on the year that we happen to need them, we have actually taken the time to save up money for each of these capital projects over time so that we can afford to do them.
Among the largest projects in next year's lineup are the Innis Creek Fish Passage replacement, a long-planned upgrade of the Highway 101 truck route intersection, new facilities for the city's electric utility, additional EV charging stations, and continued water and sewer line replacements throughout the city. Several of the projects are carryovers from this year. More than $40 million in grants are built into the budget, especially for public works improvements. West says many of the grants carry deadline requirements, and that's helped shape the timing and the sequencing of the capital schedule. The city also continues to maintain a reserve fund balance of 23 to 25% across its major funds, a target West says protects emergency stability and will allow the city to draw from capital savings accounts built up over many years. The 2026 budget includes no new staff positions, city leaders opting for a different approach amid uncertain economic conditions. For comparison, last year's final amended budget reached about $205 million, but that number actually reflected some late-year additions that were not included at the adoption of the budget. Governor Bob Ferguson says the budget proposal he'll release later this month will rely on spending cuts rather than higher taxes to close what he describes as a multi-billion-dollar shortfall. Ferguson told reporters this week he would not sign increases in sales or property taxes, two of the quickest ways lawmakers could raise revenue. He also pushed back on calls from progressive Democrats to tax wealthy residents or large corporations, saying those proposals cannot generate money fast enough to solve the state's immediate budget gap. The governor's plan, due out in a couple of weeks, will serve as the starting point for House and Senate budget writers when the legislature convenes for the year on January 12th. More news after this.
The Straight Country Music Series, presented by The Straight 102, brings Pacific Northwest favorite Amanda Lynn Bacon to Field Arts at Events Hall in Port Angeles for a special concert weekend, a Saturday night show and a Sunday matinee. First up, Saturday, December 13th at 7:30, it's Amanda Lynn Bacon, a tribute to Patsy Cline. Amanda's powerful vocals and the award-winning Black Diamond Junction Band bring Patsy's greatest hits to life. Walking After Midnight, I Fall to Pieces, Sweet Dreams, and Crazy, among others. Then join us Sunday, December 14th at 3 p.m. for Amanda's Tinsel and Twang, a warm Christmas-themed matinee filled with classic country holiday favorites and a few other twists, too. Tickets are $16 to $36 for each show. Buy online or skip the 5% card fee by visiting the Field Hall box office Monday through Saturdays 10 to 2. Don't miss Amanda Lynn Bacon live in two unforgettable performances, December 13th and 14th at Field Arts and Events Hall in downtown Port Angeles.
This season is made all the more wonderful with a tour of trees happening this Saturday at Lavender Meadows in Sequim. Enjoy beautifully decorated homes, dazzling Christmas trees, and you can win one of their amazing holiday gifts, including a Washington Wine Lovers basket and other locally sourced gifts. Bring the family to Tour of Trees, 11 to 3 p.m. this Saturday at Lavender Meadows in Sequim, off Sequim Avenue past the library.
In other news, if you've seen crews removing large exterior siding panels from the new Field Arts and Events Hall this week, And the organization says the material used in fabrication was defective. It's got to be yanked out. Board President Brooke Taylor says the contractor, Mortensen Construction, has taken full responsibility for the defect.
The siding that we had selected and the architects had selected very soon after installation turned out to be defective. And so we basically left it up to the contractor and the supplier to work out a fix, and they have done that. But we don't know how the parties worked it out amongst themselves. It's really none of our business as long as they don't expect Field Hall and our donors to pay for the repairs, and they don't.
Taylor says he's not sure yet of the exact timeline, but believes the work should take only a few weeks to finish up. A Washington state judge has again upheld the state's 2023 ban on the sale, manufacture, and distribution of certain semi-automatic firearms defined as assault weapons, but the legal battle is not over. The Silent Majority Foundation, a gun rights group based in Pasco, plans to appeal, arguing the ban violates the state's constitution's guarantee of the right to bear arms. The law does not prohibit possession of such firearms, but restricts their sale and transfer, and it specifically names weapons like an AR-15. Thurston County Superior Court Judge Christine Schaller ruled in favor of the state last month, siding with arguments that the legislature can regulate weapons linked to mass shootings and not commonly used for self-defense. Federal judges have also upheld the law in preliminary rulings, and similar bans are under review in some other states. Legal observers say the U.S. Supreme Court may eventually weigh in on the issue, though it declined to take a related case this year. Washington is one of 10 states with an assault weapons ban. The Silent Majority Foundation has also challenged the state's high-capacity magazine ban, which was upheld by the state Supreme Court and is now being appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And more than 500 Native American artifacts taken illegally from the Umatilla National Forest will be returned to the Nez Perce tribe after a federal investigation. The items were seized from the Asotin, Washington home of 39-year-old Shane D. Caldwell, who pleaded guilty to distributing an archaeological resource. A state tip in 2023 led authorities to discover unauthorized digging at an historic Nez Perce trail site in the Blue Mountains of eastern Washington. Trail cameras captured Caldwell returning to the site multiple times. A search of his home in February uncovered 522 artifacts along with maps marking tribal lands. He was sentenced to 15 months of unsupervised probation and has been banned from Forest Service lands for a year. This is Newsradio KONP.
Home affordability? Yes, it does exist here on the peninsula with Mountain View Homes. Looking for a quality craftsmanship home at 40% less than stick-built? Call Mountain View Homes. We specialize in affordable homes with full-service land packages, dirt to turnkey, quality, beautiful, and an efficient manufactured home on the site of your choice. Mountain View Homes has 3 locations to serve you, including Carlsberg. Visit mtviewhomes.com. That's mtviewhomes.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Olympic Game Farm is the place for you. Better than the circus or a day at the zoo. There's llamas and there's lions and a race for you. Olympic Game Farm is the place for you. Say hello to a buffalo, stick out his tongue. This place is just amazing for the old and the young. These zebras or a tiger might catch your eye. They've even got a bear who'll wave goodbye. It's so much fun, so bring your dad and your mom. Look us up at onlygamefarm.com.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 48 this afternoon under overcast skies with a chance for isolated rain showers. Winds out of the north around 5 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight. Rain likely. Lows level off around 41. Rain likely tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 53. Cloudy skies expected. temps above average Saturday and Sunday, with highs from the upper 40s to the lower 50s. Scattered showers possible both days. Looking further out, 52 Monday, 50 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 45.
Leaves the game, but will he leave? Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Giannis Antetokounmpo leaves the Bucks game last night, 3 minutes in. The team says it's a strained calf. Bucks beat the Pistons 113-109. It all comes on the day that ESPN Shams Charania reporting Antetokounmpo and his camp are talking with the team about whether his future is in Milwaukee or elsewhere.
So here we go again. There's been no conversations. It's different in the middle of the season because the season's going on, and you have to answer these questions again.
Bucks coach Doc Rivers. Meanwhile, a lot of folks around the NBA expressing shock over the Clippers' decision to split with Chris Paul. The team saying it wasn't working out the way it had hoped. Clippers beat the Hawks last night by 23 in Atlanta. Nuggets get 52 from Jamal Murray in their 15-point win over the Pacers. Spurs edge the Magic 114-112. Blazers stun the Cavs 122-110. Rockets top the Kings 121-95. Mavs a third straight win.
Pass behind Flagg, able to haul it in. Spin from the foul line. And of course he knocks it down because that's what Cooper Flagg does in clutch time.
He is Mr. Clutch Coop.
97 won the Eagle. Cooper Flagg 22 and the Mavs beat the Heat 118-108. College hoops ACC-SEC challenge. After losing 6 of the 9 games on day 1 Tuesday, the SEC storms back with 6 wins in the 7 games yesterday. Virginia, the only win for the ACC. They beat Texas by 19. But among the wins for the SEC, Arkansas handing Louisville its first loss, 89-80. Alabama tops Clemson 90-84. Auburn a 10-point win over NC State. As for Ole Miss, their athletic director says Lane Kiffin's departure didn't happen quite the way Kiffin said it did, disputing a number of the things Kiffin had said publicly. Hockey, Capitals rout the Sharks 7-1. 2 more goals for Alex Ovechkin. Utah shuts out the Ducks 7-0. Stars a 3-0 shutout of the Devils.
In local sports, local basketball fans will have plenty of action this weekend, starting Friday night as the Port Angeles Rough Rider boys travel to North Mason for their league opener. The Bulldogs are led by 6'8 senior Logan Hudson, who has now suited up for Central Kitsap, North Kitsap, and now North Mason. Tip-off 7 o'clock, and you can hear the broadcast of that game right here on KONP, our pregame at 6:45 Friday night. Saturday, the 8th-ranked Peninsula Pirate women host the 3-day Pirate Classic. Action begins Friday at 4 p.m. with 6th-ranked Lower Columbia College taking on Bellevue. At 6, Peninsula will face a solid 3-0 Chemeketa Storm Squad. Saturday, Peninsula meets Lower Columbia at 4, and on Sunday, the Pirates take on Tacoma at 2. And you can hear Sunday's game here on KONP. Our pregame at 1:45, Ole Archibald and Joe Gladfelter will have the call. Also on Saturday, the Port Angeles Rough Rider girls, coming off a stunning home court loss to Class 2B Forks, travel to Neah Bay to take on the defending 3-time state champion Red Devils. On tomorrow's Sports News, we'll have a full scouting report. We'll bring you the live broadcast of that Neah Bay Port Angeles game Saturday night with a 5 o'clock tip-off here on KONP. Meanwhile, the Peninsula Pirate men head to Edmonds for the 3-day Triton Classic. The Pirates face Umpqua Friday at 5, South Puget Sound Saturday at 4, Grays Harbor Sunday at noon. And former Rough Rider Eve Burke, now a senior at Linfield College, has helped lead the Wildcats to a 4-1 start this year. Burke has started all 5 games, averaging 25 minutes, 12 points, and 5 rebounds per game, while shooting a blistering 53% from the field and 50% from three-point range. Kraken Hockey back on the air this evening, 6:30 airtime here on KONP.
This is Ed from Leeds Farm Supply and Equipment Sales. Our family has trucked hay to feed the hungry animals in Western Washington for 4 generations. In that time, we have built a growing legacy of serving the needs of our customers, and we've never stopped. In 2014, we ventured into the equipment world by becoming a dealer and service provider for Mahindra tractors. Since then, we have partnered with quality brands such as Bad Boy, Aaron's Gravely, LS Tractor, Husqvarna, Snake River Trailers, and now Wacker Neuson Construction Equipment. We have a 3-bay shop where we not only service the brands we sell, but we also work on most major brands including Kubota, John Deere, and New Holland. We carry a wide variety of parts, filters, belts, and fluids. We have a fully stocked hydraulic shop and can build hoses for most machines while you wait. Chainsaw or weed eater need some TLC? We work on small engines too. We even offer welding and fabrication services. We have been earning the Peninsula's trust for over 25 years with your animal's care. We look forward to earning your trust with your equipment's care too.
News Radio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The fight over Warner Brothers Discovery is intensifying now. Paramount Skydance is accusing Warner Brothers Discovery of failing to conduct a fair auction, saying the company isn't acting in its shareholders' best interests and is favoring a single bidder. Warner Brothers responding its board attends to its fiduciary obligations with the utmost care and says they have fully and robustly complied with them and will continue to do so. CNBC says Netflix is the leading bidder. Comcast is also making a go of it. Stocks today are fluctuating as investors eye a possible interest rate cut from the Fed next week. Sources say Goldman Sachs has paused a planned mortgage bond sale for CyrusOne after a major outage at CME Group last month because of problems at one of its data centers in Aurora, Illinois. The outage has become a wake-up call for investors looking at the AI data center boom. And starting today, you can go to PepperidgeFarmHoliday.com and send someone you love a Pepperidge Farm cookie-gram with 2 bags of Milano Mint and Chessman cookies. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
It's football season, and we all know what that means. If you're not at the game, you're home watching the game. Hi, this is John at Angelo's Furniture. I'm inviting you to get lazy, right in front of your TV in a brand new Lazy Boy. We have both manual and power models. Check out the Pinnacle Rocker Recliner for just $7.99, upgrade to leather for only $11.29. Step up to our large Redwood Rocker Recliner for as low as $11.99, or upgrade to leather for $16.49. Sale prices going on now, only at Angelo's Furniture.
At McCrory Carpet One, they sell more than just carpet. If you walk on it, they carry it. Hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tiles, stone, and more. Plus, experience their award-winning installation service on everything they sell. Because McCrory's sells more flooring than anyone else on the peninsula, and Carpet One stores sell more flooring nationally than anyone, they can say always priced right and always done right. McCrory Carpet One.
News Radio KONP. Traffic and roads.
Let's head up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center. And that's where Steve's standing by with a check of the noontime road and traffic conditions for us. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're doing pretty good overall out there, both Port Angeles and Sequim area. It's fairly busy right now, but traffic is moving along fairly smoothly. Just some delays at the stoplights through the town, downtown Port Angeles, also along Washington Street, especially that Sequim Avenue, Washington Street traffic signal there. So just be aware of some delays there. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Sequim, no real problems right now. Traffic is moving along fairly well out there, although it is definitely busy out there on the highway. If you're headed out any further, Hood Canal Bridge is back in business, just opened up here a little bit ago. A lot of traffic backed up. It was closed for almost an hour there. So just be aware of that. If you're headed out on 104 and Highway 3, it's going to be busy out in that direction as well. If you're headed out to the west end, 101's in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. Light to moderate traffic out there right now. Roads are in good shape and things moving along at the speed limit. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thank you, Steve. Another update from you in about a half hour. Your weather forecast for today going to be rainy through the day and cloudy. Highs in the upper 40s. Fog forming tonight. More rain continuing, and we'll see lows in the low 40s. And then tomorrow, look for on and off again rain with highs in the low to mid 50s. And we could see the winds pick up again on Friday evening into the early hours of Saturday. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, now across the North Peninsula, 45 in Port Townsend, 46 in Sequim, and it's 45 out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Well, more than 850 runners will light up the Olympic Discovery Trail this Saturday night. It's the Jamestown Slalom Tribe's 5K, 10K Glow Run. The final race in the Run the Peninsula series, by the way. This nighttime run starts about 4:30 on the tribal campus in Blinn before sending participants west along the trail and back, creating a long ribbon of headlamps and illuminated vests all running through all of those decorated trees and buildings there in Blinn. The run supports several local organizations, including the Peninsula Trails Coalition, and is organized by the Port Angeles Marathon Association. Now, if you're heading down into the Blinn area as a driver, you can expect some brief delays between 4:30 and 6:30 p.m. Through that area for making room for those runners there in the dark, but everybody's well lighted. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. It is 12:24 now.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
For years, we've been reporting on the health benefits of coffee. You know, it's right up there with the Mediterranean diet. Study after study show these things are just good for you. So more welcome news today for coffee drinkers the world over. Research conducted by the nonprofit Clean Label Project found that coffee is pretty safe when it comes to contaminants and toxins. If you want to get your hands on the cleanest beans around, look for coffee that's labeled USDA organic. That means it's going to be free of pesticides, herbicides, and other GMOs. Single origin coffees, they tend to be higher quality because, as the name implies, you know where it's coming from and you know how the beans are grown. And this I did not know. You should buy whole beans, not only to preserve freshness and flavor, but pre-ground coffee is more prone to contamination. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care, and here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. More than 1 million people are part of healthcare sharing now because it just makes so much sense right now. And MediShare is the gold standard. Members like it a lot. We know this from member surveys. MediShare has been around for over 30 years. It is a proven thing. And if you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline's December 15th. Call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Dear Santa, I hope you are having a good day in the North Pole. Is it cold all the time there? Is that why your cheeks are so rosy? My mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. Was my chimney broken? I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too. Wow.
Donate and help the Marines deliver hope to a child in need.
Hello, I'm Jerry Stewart, and this is One Moment in America. As our nation, America, moves forward to another new year, some things are getting easier. But one thing, especially one thing, is getting harder and harder. I'll tell you that story after this important message.
Hello, Jerry Stewart here. Question, what are you, an American or an Americant? You might be saying, what's the difference? Glad you asked. An American is someone who sees a problem in our nation, and rather than running from the problem, you stay. And you say, I can fix the problem. And you do, helping to make our great America even greater. And an Americant? Pretty simple, pretty sad. You say, there's a problem. You don't have a solution. You don't even try to make a solution. And that is being an Americant. And we don't need any more Americans, but more Americans. Do yourself a big favor. Go to our website at www.jerrystewartusa.com and join our American Club by subscribing. And when you do, we'll send you an official American certificate to hang up and show to all that you're an American. So go to www.jerrystewartusa.com and join now. See you there.
In America today, as some things appear to be getting easier, at least one thing is getting much harder. Sticking to your convictions. Why? Because any person with strong convictions is immediately labeled as judgmental or too narrow, so people don't know where to stand. It was Minister Peter Marshall who said, if a man doesn't stand for something, he will surely fall for everything. And Abraham Lincoln adds to that. He says, be sure to put your feet in the right place, then stand firm. So what are we to do? Stand firm. I'm Jerry Stewart, and that was One Moment in America.
The new year gives us a fresh start, but at Wilder Auto, we remain committed to old-fashioned Wilder Advantage service. Every used vehicle we sell has been professionally inspected and stamped with the Wilder Advantage 5-star grade. Lower cost of ownership and peace of mind is what keeps our customers coming back. So the next time you're in the market for a new or used car, truck, SUV, or van, stop by and see us or 24/7 at wilderauto.com.
This afternoon on the Todd Ortloff Show, among a few other things, it'll be a business bit, small business segment with small business advisor Kevin Holt. He'll join us to help local owners of businesses and, if you work in a business, navigate some real-world challenges.
Join us at 1 o'clock Monday through Thursday for the Todd Ortloff Show on KONP. Information to keep you engaged in your community with the people and organizations who keep it running. Sponsored by Dan Shappy, Farmers Insurance.
The holidays are coming, and nothing says team bonding like watching your boss throw a gutter ball. Host your company party at Laurel Lanes in Port Angeles, where the food's great, the drinks are cold, and nobody has to sit through another awkward Secret Santa exchange. Bring the family, too. Bowling's way more fun than trying to untangle Christmas lights. Lace up those shoes, grab a lane, and roll into the season at Laurel Lanes, where fun is right up your alley. Call 360-457-5858 to reserve your lanes now.
Remember when, on Christmas Day, you'd burst forth from your rooms your new toys with to play? The number of packages meant nothing to you. It was what was inside, and more importantly, from who. Santa had come in the middle of the night with gifts you had wished for. That man does it upright. Remember the smile you bore that whole day. Clallam Co-op has you covered with those same gifts for your sleigh. Unique and exciting, nostalgic and cool. Shop local. Shop Co-op for your holiday Yule.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. A man arrested by the FBI in its investigation into who placed pipe bombs in Washington before the January 6, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol has been charged now with an explosives offense. U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, provided the name.
We are finally able to make an arrest of an individual by the name of Brian Cole. As the Attorney General has indicated, he is arrested for transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce, as well as the attempted malicious destruction by means of explosive materials.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says he has a lot of reservations about the U.S. brokered peace plan for Ukraine.
Putin's comments indicate that a deal is still some way off, despite intense diplomacy by American envoys. Peace efforts face tough demands, especially regarding Ukraine's territorial concessions and future security. Meanwhile, European leaders accuse Putin of feigning interest in peace efforts. Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities continue and have caused casualties and damage.
That is Karen Chamis reporting. President Trump hosted the Congolese and Rwandan presidents for a deal signing ceremony aimed at securing peace in eastern Congo.
We're settling a war that's been going on for decades with millions and millions of people killed.
The White House lauded the signing as historic. The peace agreement has some benefits for the United States as well. It will open up access to eastern Congo's critical minerals for the U.S. government and American companies. Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow and a prominent Trump ally, has filed paperwork to run for governor of Minnesota in 2026. On Wall Street, it's a mixed bag. An hour from the close, the Dow is down right now 86 points. The NASDAQ up about 16. More from townhall.com.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher. The holidays are right around the corner, and you know what that means. Travel, gifts, family gatherings, and a whole lot of spending. Here's a way to get ahead of it all. Call my friends Mike and Brian and the team at Fellowship Home Loans. Rates have dropped again. That means you could refinance, lower your monthly payment, even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. That's right, 2 months with no mortgage payment. Put away the checkbook. Keep that money for the holidays. You won't be making any more payments till 2026. Maybe you're not looking to refinance, but you need access to cash. Well, Fellowship now offers their own HELOC and line of credit. Approval just takes a few minutes, and you can have funds in your account in as little as 4 days. Use it to pay off bills, finish a renovation, or simply get ready for the new year. Just go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Overnight stays at the Grand Canyon South Rim lodges have been canceled because of water line problems.
There is only one water line to the South Rim, and crews are working on multiple breaks to that line. The failures have prompted strict conservation measures to preserve limited resources. This is just the second time overnight stays have had to be canceled. For park staff and the 2,500 who live year-round in Grand Canyon Village, it means short showers, less toilet flushing, and turning off faucets while shaving or brushing teeth. Day visitors are still welcome at the South Rim, and there is lodging available outside the park. The goal is to have the water line fixed and the lodges open again as early as next week. I'm Ed Donahue.
More shoppers are using AI for their holiday shopping. They can create gift lists and compare various deals, even writing card messages for some people. Retailers say AI is now a key driver when it comes to holiday sales. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. If it was meant as a joke, nobody was laughing, including the jury.
An Albany County, New York jury has convicted a man who wore a clown mask and carried a chainsaw during a daytime walk through a neighborhood. District Attorney Lee Kindlin says the man was seen on surveillance video wearing the clown mask and a football jersey. He also carried a red chainsaw. Authorities say a local resident, a very brave local resident, confronted the man. They fought, and the resident subdued the bad guy until the cops got there. Jason Walker reporting.
House Republicans' plan to vote on a bill regulating college sports has been scrapped due to divisions within their own caucus. There are bipartisan concerns over the influence that the SCORE Act, as it's known, would have given the NCAA and its most powerful programs. You'll find more on these stories at townhall.com.
This is the Newsradio KONP Noon Report.
It's Outdoor Time from the KONP News Center. Here's a look at what's happening on this Thursday, December 4th. Olympic Medical Center commissioners voting unanimously yesterday to begin audio and video recording of their public meetings starting the first of the year. That's a response to growing public demand for increased transparency. The decision breaks with legal advice from the hospital district's attorney, who warned that recording would hinder open discussion and be vulnerable to manipulation. Despite those concerns, commissioners said the public's expectation for accessibility outweighed the risks. The videos will be posted online for 6 months and then archived for 6 years in line with state law. Written minutes will remain official record. The first meeting to be recorded set for January 7th. Port Angela City Council signed off on a nearly $200 million budget for next year, a spending plan driven largely by a surge in capital projects across the city. City Manager Nathan West told council members the budget does meet the city's longstanding goal of adopting the plan at the first meeting of December. And he says it does remain fully balanced, with revenues matching expenses as required under city policy. He noted this year's unusually large total, though, is tied to some major construction scheduled in water, wastewater, electric, and transportation infrastructure.
A couple of things to really celebrate about this budget. Number one is it's balanced, right? Expenditures and revenues are fully balanced. But number two is it's a reflection of the fact that we have worked really hard to ensure we're making a conscious choice on how we fund our capital projects. And instead of increasing taxes to fund those capital projects so that we can do them, on the year that we happen to need them, we have actually taken the time to save up money for each of these capital projects over time so that we can afford to do them.
Among the largest projects in next year's lineup are the Innis Creek Fish Passage replacement, a long-planned upgrade of the Highway 101 truck route intersection, new facilities for the city's electric utility, additional EV charging stations, and continued water and sewer line replacements throughout the city. Several of the projects are carryovers from this year. More than $40 million in grants are built into the budget, especially for public works improvements. West says many of the grants carry deadline requirements, and that's helped shape the timing and the sequencing of the capital schedule. The city also continues to maintain a reserve fund balance of 23 to 25% across its major funds, a target West says protects emergency stability and will allow the city to draw from capital savings accounts built up over many years. The 2026 budget includes no new staff positions, city leaders opting for a different approach amid uncertain economic conditions. For comparison, last year's final amended budget reached about $205 million, but that number actually reflected some late year additions that were not included at the adoption of the budget. Governor Bob Ferguson says the budget proposal he'll release later this month will rely on spending cuts rather than higher taxes to close what he describes as a multi-billion-dollar shortfall. Ferguson told reporters this week he would not sign increases in sales or property taxes, two of the quickest ways lawmakers could raise revenue. He also pushed back on calls from progressive Democrats to tax wealthy residents or large corporations, saying those proposals cannot generate money fast enough to solve the state's immediate budget gap. The governor's plan, due out in a couple of weeks, will serve as the starting point for House and Senate budget writers when the legislature convenes for the year on January 12th. More news after this.
Bobcat is offering a rare manufacturer discount, and it's big. Right now, get up to $20,000 off a Bobcat L85 wheel loader, E35 excavator, or T66 compact track loader at Brim in Carlsberg. We can't publish the price. You'll see why when you call. But trust us, it's the best price of the year on a new Bobcat. Find yours today at Brim Tractor in Carlsberg, your local Bobcat dealer.
You know what you can't do when you shop online? Touch, feel, try. But here in Sequim, our local shops are packed with gifts for everyone on your list, with no shipping delays or wrong porch deliveries. Support local and shop Sequim, because the best gifts come from our local shops right down the street.
Sophie's Floral in downtown Sequim is blooming with weekly workshops. Sign up online or in store. Beyond beautiful bouquets, explore gift wares and holiday decor galore. We're open Sundays through the holidays.
Forage Gifts and Northwest Treasures is the premier destination for Olympic Peninsula specialty items, locally sourced products, and Pacific Northwest artisanal goods. Shop our specially curated gift boxes to send near or far.
Satisfy everyone's gift wish win by shopping local in downtown Spin. Satisfy everyone's gift wish win by shopping local in downtown Squim.
In other news, if you've seen crews removing large exterior siding panels from the new Field Arts and Events Hall this week, and the organization says the material used in fabrication was defective, it's got to be yanked out. Board President Brooke Taylor says the contractor, Mortensen Construction, has taken full responsibility for the defect.
The siding that we had selected and the architects had selected very soon after installation turned out to be defective. And so we basically left it up to the contractor and the supplier to work out a fix, and they have done that. But we don't know how the parties worked it out amongst themselves. It's really none of our business as long as they don't expect Field Hall and our donors to pay for the repairs, and they don't.
Taylor says he's not sure yet of the exact timeline, but believes the work should take only a few weeks to finish up. A Washington state judge has again upheld the state's 2023 ban on the sale, manufacture, and distribution of certain semi-automatic firearms defined as assault weapons, but the legal battle is not over. The Silent Majority Foundation, a gun rights group based in Pasco, plans to appeal, arguing the ban violates the state's constitution's guarantee of the right to bear arms. The law does not prohibit possession of such firearms, but restricts their sale and transfer, and it specifically names weapons like an AR-15. Thurston County Superior Court Judge Christine Schaller ruled in favor of the state last month, siding with arguments that the legislature can regulate weapons linked to mass shootings and not commonly used for self-defense. Federal judges have also upheld the law in preliminary rulings, and similar bans are under review in some other states. Legal observers say the U.S. Supreme Court may eventually weigh in on the issue, though it declined to take a related case this year. Washington is one of 10 states with an assault weapons ban. The Silent Majority Foundation has also challenged the state's high-capacity magazine ban, which was upheld by the state Supreme Court and is now being appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And more than 500 Native American artifacts taken illegally from the Umatilla National Forest will be returned to the Nez Perce tribe after a federal investigation. The items were seized from the Asotin, Washington home of 39-year-old Shane D. Caldwell, who pleaded guilty to distributing an archaeological resource. A state tip in 2023 led authorities to discover unauthorized digging at an historic Nez Perce trail site in the Blue Mountains of eastern Washington. Trail cameras captured Caldwell returning to the site multiple times. A search of his home in February uncovered 522 artifacts along with maps marking tribal lands. He was sentenced to 15 months of unsupervised probation and has been banned from Forest Service lands for a year. This is News Radio KONP.
End-of-life decisions are hard. Be it pre-planning or sudden loss, you need to have an advocate in your corner, which is why I wholeheartedly recommend Drennan and Ford Funeral Home and Crematory in Port Angeles, the only locally owned funeral home and crematory in Clallam County. Their expertise ensures a smooth process, so you can focus on healing and being with your loved ones. Their help through the darkest time in my life will forever stay with me. Call 360-457-1210.
Century 21 Real Estate Center has been serving the Pacific Northwest since 1984. Today, we're proud to bring that experience to families right here on the peninsula.
I'm Patty Morris, and I love serving the people of the Olympic Peninsula. It's not just about real estate, it's about community.
Call 452-1210 to start your next chapter. Century 21 Real Estate Center, where neighbors become clients and clients become friends.
Dear Santa, I hope you are having a good day in the North Pole. Is it cold all the time there? Is that why your cheeks are so rosy? My mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. Was my chimney broken? I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate and help the Marines deliver hope to a child in need.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by All Weather Heating and Cooling. Daytime highs approaching 48 this afternoon under overcast skies with a chance for isolated rain showers. Winds out of the north around 5 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight. Rain likely. Lows level off around 41. Rain likely tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 53. Cloudy skies expected. Temps above average Saturday and Sunday with highs from the upper 40s to the lower 50s. Scattered showers possible both days. Looking further out, 52 Monday, 50 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently 45.
NBA Wednesday, the Nuggets got 52 points from Jamal Murray as they pummeled the Pacers 135-120. Murray sank 10 of 11 three-point tries. Bucks lost Giannis Antetokounmpo to an early leg injury, but defeated the East-leading Pistons 113-109. Rockets crowned the Kings 121-95. 3 Houston starters scored at least 20 points, including Kevin Durant, who is now just 4 points away from 31,000.
8 players in the history of the game, that's insane. I mean, I'm always grateful for all my coaches, teammates, guys that set screens for me, that give up their shot.
The Spurs kept pace in the Southwest, holding off the Magic 114-112. Luke Cornett blocked Franz Wagner's last-second layup to secure the win. Knicks swatted the Hornets 119-104, 35 points and 18 rebounds for Karl Anthony Towns. Clippers ended a 5-game skid with a 115-92 thrashing of the Hawks in LA's first game after parting ways with Chris Paul. On the ice, the Stars shut out the Devils 3-0. Jake Ottinger made 30 saves. He's now beaten all of the other 31 NHL teams in his 6-year career. Mammoth manhandled the Ducks 7-0. Karol Vermelka stopped 27 shots. J.J. Peterka had 2 goals and 2 assists. 2-2 for rookie Ryan Leonard as the Capitals sail past the Sharks 7-1. 2 goals for Alex Ovechkin as well. The new record number is 9-11. College hoops, the ACC-SEC Challenge, pretty one-sided again last night, but after the ACC won 7 of 10 on the first night of the challenge, the SEC won 6 out of 7. Number 25 Arkansas took down number 6 Louisville in the big matchup of the night. That's Thursday Sports.
Get cozy, Port Angeles. The Naval Elks Lodge membership drive presents the Jolly Jammy Tea, Friday, December 13th from 10 a.m. to noon. Bring the family for live music by Paper Tooth, free pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus, and a whole lot of holiday cheer. For just $15 per person, you'll enjoy a DIY treat decorating kit, plus your choice of coffee, tea, cider, or hot cocoa. Get your tickets at the door or by emailing navallodge@gmail.com. Kick off the season in your jammies at the Jolly Jammy Tea.
Newsradio KONP Business.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The fight over Warner Brothers Discovery is heating up, with bidder Paramount Skydance complaining about the bidding process. CNBC says Netflix is the frontrunner. Comcast is also bidding. Sources say Meta Platforms execs are considering potential budget cuts as high as 30% for the Metaverse group. That could trigger layoffs next month. Meta shares are higher. Stocks overall are fluctuating today, though. Humana working with billionaire Mark Cuban on a potential pharmacy partnership that could step up pressure on larger pharmacy middlemen. And the Trump administration instructing embassies and consulates to prioritize visa applications from foreigners wishing to attend the 2026 World Cup, 2028 Olympics, and other major sporting events, saying visa applications for business people considering significant investments in the U.S. and those wanting to travel for major sporting events should be at the top of the list for consideration, along with foreign diplomats and certain workers. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Let's get a last check in the noontime traffic next.
Are you looking for tips on a healthy and happy holiday season? Head to olympicmedical.org/healthyholidays, where you'll find helpful and healthful hints to nourish your mind and body this season. From navigating holiday stress to making healthy choices at the dinner table, you'll find tips to help you feel your best this season. Get your holiday tips today at olympicmedical.org/healthyholidays. The Leeds Farm Supply elves have been busy, stuffing the store with Black Friday deals, like 15% off all propane tanks, 10% off winter equipment services, 10% off Bad Boy implements, and 15% off Balin shelter kits. And don't miss stocking stuffers like BOGO 50% Silversmith jewelry, buy 2 get 1 free pet toys, and 40% off Montana West purses. Leeds Farm Supply and Squim, holiday magic for every barn, home, and homestead.
Newsradio KONP, traffic and roads.
Right back up to Clallam Transit Dispatch Center we go, and that's where Steve's standing by with one last look at the noontime road and traffic conditions. Good afternoon, Steve.
Hi there. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, we're doing pretty good overall out there, both Port Angeles and Squim area. It's fairly busy right now, but traffic is moving along fairly smoothly. Just some delays at the stoplights through the town, downtown Port Angeles, also along Washington Street, especially that Squim Avenue, Washington Street traffic signal there. So just be aware of some delays there. If you're on the highway between Port Angeles and Squim, no real problems right now. Traffic is moving along fairly well out there, although it is definitely busy out there on the highway. If you're headed out any further, Hood Canal Bridge is back in business, just opened up here a little bit ago. A lot of traffic backed up. It was closed for almost an hour there. So just be aware of that if you're headed out on 104 and Highway 3. It's going to be busy out in that direction as well. If you're headed out to the west end, 101's in good shape all the way out to the Forks area. Light to moderate traffic out there right now. Roads are in good shape and things moving along at the speed limit. So everybody take care, be safe. This is Steve reporting live from Clallam Transit for KONP.
Thanks, Steve. Your weather forecast going to call for rainy, cloudy conditions the next couple of days. In fact, could see a little bit of wind picking up Friday night as well. Your highs going to continue to be right around 50 during the day. Lows at night right around 40. Right now across the peninsula, 46 in Port Townsend. In Squim, they're at 47 now. And it's 45 degrees out at Fairchild Airport here in Port Angeles. Health experts across the country logging more cases of infant botulism, all in connection with a recalled baby formula. ABC's Michelle Franson with the latest.
Nationwide, health officials say 39 babies have now been sickened and hospitalized across 18 states in an infant botulism outbreak the FDA says is linked to contaminated infant formula from ByHeart. The formula maker issued a full recall of all its products in the U.S., but the FDA says some ByHeart products are still on store shelves, including some well-known chain stores. Health officials say the most recent illness was recorded on November 19th. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Steve Cropper has died. He co-wrote some classic rock songs like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, In the Midnight Hour, and this one. Yeah, Green Onions with Booker T and the MGs. Steve Cropper was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 with that band.
Agents at RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate will work for you, looking out for your interests. Nobody in the world sells more real estate. Now is the time, and RE/MAX Evergreen should be your choice. Call one of our agents, Mark DeRosie, Margaret Womack, Sean Washburn, Heidi Hampton, Dylan Washburn, Jenna Lee Atwood, Angie Matthews, Holly Locke, Joaquin Robidoux, or Rebecca Robidoux. 457-6600. Trust the name you know and trust the agents who care at RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate.
Hello, I'm a disabled veteran, and thanks to Sarge's Veteran Support, I live at Minsky Place in Sequim. Are you spring cleaning or downsizing? Turn your unused items into homes for heroes. Sarge's Veteran Support's thrift store in Forks accepts donations of furniture, household goods, antiques, and collectibles, all to fund housing for veterans across the Olympic Peninsula. Visit sargesveteransupport.org to learn more. Your generosity will change lives.
Cyber Week, and each day I'll warn you about the newest AI scams trying to steal your money. Today's is the scariest corporate scam of the season. Scammers scrape video and voice clips from social media and set up a meeting with deepfake participants who look and sound exactly like your CEO and team. I'm Kim Commando for SimpliSafe. This month only, save 50% on any new system at simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. You join the call. The fake CEO orders a $25,000 wire transfer for a so-called secret acquisition. And because you saw their face, you believe it. The minute you send the money, it's gone forever. Here's the fix. Always confirm a wire transfer with a human-proof question. If your CEO always recommends books, ask the fake CEO to name one. If they pause or hang up, it's a deep fake. Always verify requests on a second channel, like a phone call or a text to the real person. This one's catching a lot of people off guard. Get my newsletter at getkim.com. Can your security system stop a break-in before it even starts? Most can't. Traditional systems only react after someone's already inside your home, and then it's too late. SimpliSafe is proactive. It uses a double layer of defense designed to stop crime before it starts. Here's what's different with SimpliSafe. AI-powered cameras keep watch outside for potential threats. When something looks off, live agents step in for you. They warn the person right through the camera, stating they're on video, and the police will be dispatched if they don't leave. If needed, agents can trigger a siren and spotlight. That outside-the-door intervention is what makes the difference, even if you're asleep. For this month only, get 50% off any new system. This is one of the best prices you'll ever see. Go to simplysafekim.com for 50% off. That's simplysafekim.com. Don't wait. Get 50% off right now on any new system at simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
I'm John Tesh, and coming up, the key to rebooting your brain and starting fresh is as simple as washing your hands. I'll explain the connection next. Today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Find the most wonderful gifts at Macy's Friends and Family Sale with incredible deals on our best brands like Donna Karan, Avec Les Filles, Calvin Klein, and more, all at 30% off. Plus, take 15% off beauty and fragrance from Lancôme, Clinique, and Yves Saint Laurent. Or Star Rewards members can earn $20 in Star Money for every $100 spent on eligible brands. Going on now, only at Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
If you want to reboot your brain and focus on a new goal, then just wash your hands. Researchers at the University of Toronto discovered that hand washing or even using hand sanitizer makes prior goals seem less important and new goals more important. It's because wiping away dirt becomes a physical trigger for a psychological cleanse, making it easier to separate old and new ideas. For the study, people were told why eating healthy is important. Afterwards, some people cleaned their hands, and then everybody was offered either a healthy snack or a chocolate bar. The people who cleaned their hands overwhelmingly chose the chocolate because washing their hands wiped away the healthy advice. They had a clean mental slate and made a fresh decision, even though it was less healthy. So if you're trying to shift your focus, go wash your hands. You'll find it easier to move on. I'm John Tesh with today's Intelligence for Your Life Minute.
Century 21 Real Estate Center is proud to be part of Breakfast with Santa, a heartwarming event that happens one magical December morning. For over 15 years, the KONP elves have hosted families to a delicious breakfast, along with gifts from Santa for every good little boy and girl. From the Century 21 family, thank you for welcoming us into your community. May the magic of the holidays be with you through the year.
Count on Century 21 to get you home.
Thank you for making us part of your life all year long. And as we wrap up the year, we wish you a happy holiday season. For Newsradio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The FBI announced it's arrested a suspect in connection with the pipe bomb incidents at the DNC and RNC headquarters that occurred on the eve of the January 6th attacks at the U.S. Capitol in 2021. Federal authorities say Brian Cole Jr. was arrested at his home in suburban Virginia this morning. ABC's Alex Mallon has more.
We learned from the 9-page charging document that was just unsealed that the large part of this was circumstantial evidence that led them to believe that this individual had, for instance, purchased all of the components that were found in both of those pipe bombs. They separately did an analysis of his phone records that put him along specific parts of the path that they were able to track the suspect's movements on that surveillance footage that they've been releasing periodically throughout the years that showed his movements going between the DNC and RNC.
The Trump administration has launched new immigration operations in Minnesota, home to the largest Somali population in the U.S. President Trump making disparaging comments recently about Somalians, claiming they contribute nothing, he says, and telling reporters he doesn't want them in the country. There is pushback on the claims coming from Minneapolis. Dr. Bruce Corey is an economist at Concordia University. He estimates Somalis in Minnesota generate $500 million in annual income and pay roughly $67 million in state and local taxes.
The estimated impact of these workers, the Somali workers in Minnesota, could be about $8 billion. That's with a B, not an M.
The commander of the White House says he ordered a second strike on an alleged drug boat in September off the coast of Venezuela. He briefed lawmakers behind closed doors today as concerns grow following the U.S. strike that may have violated laws. Luigi Mangione, charged in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO 1 year ago today, back in court. His attorneys working to get key evidence dismissed in the case. You're listening to ABC News.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. So why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They're draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Oh, wait. You're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PROFIT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code PROFIT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PROFIT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PROFIT.
Waymo is under fire about the safety of its autonomous cars after several videos of the driverless cars went viral. Here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
The Austin Unified School District said it recorded at least 19 incidents of Waymo vehicles bypassing stopped school buses while children crossed the road. The Waymo director of product management said it's a learning lesson for the AI system.
After identifying that situation, we've already
analyzed the situation, and implemented fixes so that such situations are much less likely to occur in the future.
Waymo currently operates in 5 cities: Los Angeles, San Francisco, Atlanta, Phoenix, and Austin. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Australia about to become the first country in the world to implement a ban on social media for minors, but the move is already raising questions about how the law will be enforced.
Starting next Wednesday, kids under 16 in Australia will have their social media accounts deactivated on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Snapchat. Australia's government doesn't specify how platforms should enforce the measure, but age verification can be done through various methods, from having people upload pictures of their government IDs to using face or voice recognition technology to estimate how old someone is. Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
2 teens have launched a legal challenge to the age verification. Australia's High Court has agreed to hear it. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hello everyone, this is Caitlin from Airport Garden Center. I want to share with you all of our news and upcoming events for the month of November. First, we have our new winter hours, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Saturday, and we will be closed on Sundays. To keep these rainy weeks exciting, we will be having a plant flash sale each week, offering 50% off select surprise categories. Check out our webpage and social media, or give us a call to find out what's on sale. Looking for a super fun winter experience? Sign up for our Wreaths and Wine classes December 7th. Sip on local wine and learn how to build your own custom wreath or swag. Purchase tickets on our website, over the phone, or in the store. Come check out Airport Garden Center at 2200 West Edgewood Drive in Port Angeles. 360-457-8462. And get more details about these events and more at www.airportgarden.biz. Hope to see you all soon.
KONP News brought to you by RE/MAX Evergreen Real Estate. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. 457-6600. Port Angeles City Council approving a nearly $200 million budget for next year, driven by major utility and transportation upgrades. Manager Nathan West says the plan is fully balanced, reflects a surge in capital work across water, wastewater, electrical, and road systems, pushing it to one of the largest budgets ever for the city. Olympic Medical Center commissioners voting unanimously to begin audio and video recording of their public meetings and posting them online starting in January. They say increased transparency outweighs legal concerns about the recordings. Videos will be up for 6 months and archived for 6 years.
Here's your News Radio KONP forecast, brought to you by Olympic Game Farm. Daytime highs approaching 48 this afternoon under overcast skies with a chance for isolated showers, winds out of the north around 5 miles per hour. Overcast skies again tonight, rain likely, lows dip down to about 41, rain likely tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 53, overcast skies. Temperatures a bit above average Saturday and Sunday with highs from the upper 40s to the lower 50s. Scattered showers possible both days. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 52 Monday, 50 Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Paul Trombley. Currently, it's 45 degrees.
It's the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP. Now, here's Todd.
Welcome once again to the show. It is Thursday, and we have not had a business bit for so long that I got excited, and I said, Kevin, you're going to go first this time. So Kevin Holt, our business guru, is in with a business bit. It's been more than, I think, a month at least since we've done one of these.
We had one just before Thanksgiving, and then the end of the month came and went. This was one of those years when Thanksgiving was right at the end of the month. So
anyway, so we're back, and we're going to pick up kind of where you left off, and that's a bit more about sliding into a side hustle.
You better.
Everybody wants one of these days, and you've given some good tips as to what is a good one and maybe what's not so good. And today, I guess I'll just kind of toss it to you because you're going to get, and we're going to, you actually have resources available for people. We'll tell them about at the end of the segment.
It's going to be fun. Well, it's a pleasure to be back, and since we've been away for a while, I'll do a little rehash of what we've talked about so far. But first, speaking of sliding into something, it's year end, and it's small business scam season. If this is your first year in business, you can ignore those email reminders to renew your business or corporate registration, unless they come from wa.gov. At best, these so-called renewal services are 4 times more expensive than doing it right. And at worst, you will be the victim of business identity theft. And you can also ignore the internet registration fee bill you just received. This might be the longest continuously running sharp practice related to the internet. I saw my first one in 1997.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we were barely on the World Wide Web then.
Just long enough to get scammed.
Yeah.
That's right. So as we've been saying, prices are up, employment is shaky, and the news, it's not getting any better. In times like these, people often start thinking about a side hustle to close that gap between income and expenses. So as a little rehash, in our first show, we looked at options out there for side hustles. We discussed the false promises of the work-at-home scams and the gig work trap. Then I walked us through Kevin's 7 secrets of startup success for side hustles. And we'll run through those very quickly. You always want to think before you begin. We want you to build a personal business network. Want you to find pains, needs, or gaps in your community. Don't say you've always wanted to start a such and such business. Find out what people really want. And find the most lucrative market for you. And then build your team of market partners. Use your network to get access to startup money. And have some good luck. So 4 of those 7 secrets use networking. So in our second show, we did a deep dive into networking for side hustles. I reminded our listeners that the best side hustles and the best ideas don't come from AI or searching top 10 business side hustles today. The best side hustle ideas come from listening to your friends, your neighbors, and local business owners. And then we wrapped up that show by using AI. I used it to build my side hustle networking toolkit. As you might recall, we used AI for networking strategies to help draft my elevator speech, for conversation starters, and for my follow-up email. And those were fun. They might not have come out in the form exactly the way you would use them, but it was a great place to start. Yeah,
right.
It's always easier.
And a reminder, it was all about the prompts.
Yes.
People need to go back and look at that because there's a big difference between saying, pretend you're a this, and you're going to write this, as opposed to, write me an elevator speech for my thing.
Or help me network.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so we did ask AI very specific questions. Oh, that weather settles down to my throat this time of year. In our third show, and Amanda helped us out with this show, we looked at the good, the bad, and the ugly of side hustles. And a side hustle, it lets you start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. We want people to focus on keeping that side hustle small, minimum viable form, or it's not a side hustle anymore. Mm-hmm. And so the idea there is to focus on what you're bringing to the market that the market needs, put those two together. Don't try to go out and create something out of whole cloth. Bad side hustles are anything other than starting where you are and using what you have. If you have to invest, buy, sign up, take a course, you're probably headed for trouble. Because those are steps to bigger things. Again, we're trying to take what you have, find something the market needs, and just get it done. Short term, quick. So the ugly, well, that's where a side hustle becomes a trap. You get in way too deep, something doesn't work out. Now you end up paying off your side hustle, not getting paid by your side hustle. Right. A real ugly example of that was going door dashing without checking with your car insurance company.
Yeah.
And then fixing somebody else's car because you had a little back-end boo-boo. So you don't want to do that. You want to stay away from those ugly side hustles. So today we're going to answer a big question that often comes up at this point in the discussion and has actually been asked of me. How the heck do I get started?
Mm-hmm. Well, you've shot everybody's idea down already.
Yes, exactly. So since I can't do any of the things I wanted to do, now what do I do? That's right. Well, one of the challenges that people face is that the inflection point from having an idea to trading with the public can be very expensive. Business licenses, supplemental registrations, and business insurance could add up to over $1,000, especially if you're like a home handyman type operation there and you have to get a contractor's license. It's too bad there isn't a path for beginners who just want to try out an idea. But there just might be. Here in Washington State, you might have an opportunity called casual labor, something that slipped past the view of the legislature. Let's hope they leave it alone for a while. In Washington State, casual labor is about brief, one-off, non-business advancing tasks, and we'll talk about that in detail in a minute. A person can work as casual labor by offering services like yard work or babysitting or helping with personal projects in a business. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Casual labor can be offered to a business, but may not fill roles that advance the company's trade or business. In business, casual labor should be what's called incidental. For example, casual labor could be to spend an afternoon cleaning up an employee parking lot. That's not advancing the business's purpose. Or help a busy executive reorganize a messy office. It's a personal thing. The important terms here are short-term and one-off. Casual labor is not a business model. It's a quick way to establish relationships or to see if there really is a demand for what you want to offer. Let's hear some examples.
Okay.
Help a friend or neighbor declutter. All of us have got too much stuff. And when you have someone helping you, you move that process along a lot faster. I think they call it Swedish death cleaning is one of the trends, but we all need to do it. The people who follow us in life aren't going to want to deal with it.
Right.
And that emergency babysitting for a neighbor. Oh, our regular sitter just fell through. Can you help me out? Helping someone move around furniture in their living room. Oh, I don't like the sofa over there. Can we try it over here? Or can you hold that picture so I can see what it looks like?
Okay.
Huckleberry Finn painting a fence. Seasonal projects like snow shoveling or leaf raking. Gee, do we need leaves raked right now?
Yeah,
Oh, man, so bad.
Right.
Helping a neighbor clean up after a party, and there's going to be a lot of holiday parties going on.
There's a good idea.
Who wants to take a look at that mess? And again, helping businesses with activities that are outside the normal course of business. Sweep up a warehouse, clean up after a business event, take unwanted furniture to a donation site, hang up seasonal decorations, wash windows. Unless it's a window selling company.
Good point.
Yeah,
right.
Be
If
careful.
you're selling furniture and you're moving the furniture,
Yes.
that may not be a
Not
good
so
thing.
good.
Yeah, right.
Don't move furniture from the warehouse into the back of the delivery truck.
Yeah.
That's the wrong kind of furniture moving. So there's some things to watch out for here. Be attentive to the idea that these are one-off jobs. Repeat engagements are going to endanger your casual status. Stay away from anything that directly advances the business interests. That means anything one of their employees would ordinarily do in the ordinary course of business. And sadly, this means that casual labor, as a casual labor worker, you can't fill in for a missing staffer. However, you can help with end of the year decluttering, carrying those banker's boxes to the recycling bin. Again, help with an office move, remove surplus equipment, take away unwanted supplies, all that kind of stuff. And so those sorts of things can help you meet people and learn about their needs and maybe find out needs that you could fill. And then you can go back and start a business. And as a business owner, you can advance the course of that business. You can come in and say, hey, I'm a retired or out of work accountant. And I can go to work for you and do your accounting because I have a business. It's a service. It's like janitorial or anything else. So that's a way for you to kind of get your foot in the door, meet some people, and try some things out. Other examples might be directing parking for an open house, or serving coffee at a meeting, or helping a load in or load out during those flat shows or conferences. Todd probably went to a few of those back in the day.
Yeah.
And, if at 8:30 at night when you're all done, it'd be nice to have somebody help put all those
I'm telling you
suitcases
what.
together
Yeah.
fold up the big showpieces. So that is a time when people really need help, but there's really no place. There isn't an app for that yet. And so there's the last few things I'll share in this regard. Some old sayings. Play within your game. It's an old golf saying. It means don't try something on the course you haven't already mastered in practice. So when you're out there talking to people about casual labor or trying some out, don't jump into something you've never done before.
Yeah.
Both of you could have a very unpleasant surprise.
As enticing as it might seem to say, I could do that.
Sure.
Maybe you've not gone to medical school.
Yeah. And so you don't want this, again, you don't want this to turn into an ugly side hustle.
Right.
You don't want to be behind the 8 ball before you begin. Another one of my favorites, know your limit, play within it. That's the old gambling caution. Don't gamble more than you can afford to lose, and don't gamble with your future by not following the rules here. We're really going up against the line. Safety first. You're not going to be covered by workers' comp insurance, so no power tools, no ladders, no hazardous environments or heavy equipment. And watch out for that heavy lifting. That's the thing that catches a lot of people. They thought they could lift that, but they found out they couldn't. Look out for repetitive motion, although there shouldn't be much repetitive if it's a very short engagement.
True, yeah.
And watch out for those awkward postures that might risk injury.
As much as we kind of chuckle at that,
Yes.
you did list off some things, like moving someone's furniture around.
Yep.
And, we're not getting any younger.
No.
And the reason you might be moving someone's furniture is because they have already gotten to a point they can't move it themselves.
That's
And just realize maybe you're not at that. You're getting closer to that point as well.
Know your limit, play within it. That's right. Yeah. If you regularly move furniture around the house at home, go right ahead. If you haven't picked up anything heavier than a sheet of paper, watch out.
What's good about this is while you're doing some of this work, especially if you are doing something casual labor for a business, you can ask questions about things, right? It's your foot in the door to ask the manager or the owner. There's like, what do you need around these parts? I mean, if you could clone somebody to do a job, what would it be? And that's how you might find your hustle. Right?
And you might actually walk out of it with a job at that company.
True.
One of the things that I'll just take a minute to dive into that a lot of people don't realize is there's a huge demand for labor in town. But no one is posting any job openings because it's a very difficult process with a lot of people on different forms of assistance that need job applications and things of that nature. And often people don't really know what they want. Mm-hmm. But if you walk in the door and you happen to be that person, you're going to have a very interesting conversation about your future. Well, speaking of the future, let's talk a little bit about our good friend of me, AI. I thought it might be fun to, dive in. I use Copilot through Microsoft Edge. And many of my clients get stuck at this outreach stage. So I thought it might be fun to ask AI for a little bit of help to get us started to publicize our casual labor opportunity. So again, my prompt, and this is something that AI actually recommends. Rather than tell me or show me or make me, AI likes help me build.
Okay.
And when you're talking about a document like this, and Todd's talked in the past about how he's used this for contract development, and I think that's a similar type of a prompt.
Exactly, right.
So my question was, help me build a contact form and a rack card for my casual labor offer. Give me a ready-to-use proposal that a casual worker could present to households or small businesses. Explain what casual labor is and why it's beneficial.
So as you can see from that prompt, it's more... You got to get a little more detail into it, or else you'll find holes.
Garbage in, garbage out. Yep.
Right. Okay.
The old gigoo.
So the draft example.
Exactly. We got it right here.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Todd Ortloff. I'm offering casual labor services to households and businesses in our community. Casual labor is work that is outside the usual course of a trade or business. This means I can help with occasional one-time tasks. So what is casual labor? Well, it's a short-term one-off activity that assists a private party or business in a way that does not advance or promote interests of that business. Examples are yard cleanup, painting, moving assistance, babysitting, seasonal projects, decluttering, premises needs, and special events. Not included are regular business operations like staffing a store or weeding for a landscaping company. You can weed for your neighbors, but not for a landscaping company.
You can weed for any other store that has a parking lot and is weeding, but not the
not for the landscape group. Yeah. I can't answer phones, load or unload merchandise, materials, or equipment. Casual labor, though, is a practical and flexible way for you to get simple tasks done when you or your employees are too busy. I look forward to assisting you with your projects and making your life easier. And then I had it make me a rack card.
Yeah.
And so
this is pretty cool.
I tell you, it beats the heck out of doing it yourself.
Yeah.
It developed this directly from the prompt I gave. You
just say make a rack card out of that, basically.
It was the prompt I gave just at the beginning here, and it went ahead and took all of that and drained it down, put some nice headlines and bold type, and organized it very nicely. You'll probably see ways to make it better for yourself, but you've got something to start with.
Mm-hmm. So what's your recommendation to approach people? How do you find the people to approach?
Well, there was a time years ago when I worked in Anacortes when I had a student intern with me, and we were going to go on a little walking tour of the local businesses. And the intern said, "Gee, is it okay? Are they going to let us in?" And I said, "Well, there's going to be something you're going to discover, and I'm going to talk to you about it when we're done. So we went and talked about a few businesses and visited some businesses, and I said, so how easy was it to get in? And the intern said, oh, my gosh, we couldn't get out. It's not hard to get in. People are always happy to talk. And again, let's take advantage of our Clallam County. Now, if you were in King County, I'd say, be careful. Somebody might call the police when you come knocking on their door because it's a little rough down there. Here, I think you're going to find the same thing my intern did in Anacortes. The hard part's getting out. People are once people know that you're somebody who wants to talk to them,
and you're legit, not
and you want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah,
very few people come into their business and say, "Hey, what's on your mind?
Yeah.
How can I make your life easier?" They usually come in and say, "You didn't do what I wanted."
And you may
to
not
do."
have gotten a casual labor gig out of it or a side hustle,
Nope.
but what you have gotten is another contact for that network.
Exactly.
And that might be the most important part,
You
right?
are networking again, and you don't know when that person who told you no thank you is at a party and a friend says, I got to declutter my office or my boss is going to fire me. And he says, oh,
I know somebody.
I got this thing that somebody handed me the other day. Yeah.
I love it. All right. Go out and be casual with your labor.
That's right. Now,
There you go.
next time we get together, we've been told that it's very hard to buy a house right now.
Yeah.
And I've done a little bit of research that says, is it a housing shortage or is there something else at work?
Oh.
You might be very surprised to hear the answer.
Okay, that'll be the next day.
We'll
I
do it
think
next
that's
time.
next Thursday. We're going to do
Wow.
it right here on the Business Bit segment on KONP. Kevin, great to see you again.
Thank you. A
I'm glad we
pleasure.
finally got you in the hot seat over
Indeed.
there again. And we're going to take a break and be back with more in just a moment.
Do you know when your septic system was last inspected? Clallam County Environmental Health keeps those records and can tell you. Pumping your septic and complete septic inspections by licensed professionals are two very different things. State law requires inspections every 1 to 3 years, depending on the system you have. Get more information about your septic system and inspection requirements by calling Clallam County Environmental Health 360-417-2258 or by logging on to clallam.net/septic.
You know what you can't do when you shop online? Touch, feel, try. But here in Squim, our local shops are packed with gifts for everyone on your list, with no shipping delays or wrong porch deliveries. Support local and shop Squim, because the best gifts come from our local shops right down the street.
Squim Spice and Tea is more than just a store, it's an experience. They not only specialize in homemade loose-leaf teas, but also offer a wide variety of fresh herbs, spices, blends, and natural oils.
Dungeness Kids Company offers a world of top brand and quality kids clothing, toys, games, and books, with a new sale featured every week between now and Christmas. Shop our website and pick up in store.
Satisfy everyone's gift wish win by shopping local in downtown Spin. Satisfy everyone's gift wish win by shopping local in downtown Squin.
Thinking about selling your home? Buyers are active right now and they're looking for homes in Port Angeles and Squim. I'm Joyce Glayton and I work with Century 21 Real Estate Center. My job is to help sellers like you get the most out of today's market. Come see us on 8th Street next to Sergio's and put your team to work for you.
Century 21 Real Estate Center. Local agents, global reach. Call 452-1210 for a neighbor in real estate.
Come see Price Ford when shopping for your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Interested in a new Ford F-150 for those tough tasks? A sleek Ford Mustang or a versatile Escape for your daily commute? Price Ford has a comprehensive selection for every need and budget. Our knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect vehicle that fits your lifestyle and budget. Price Ford, next to Walmart in Port Angeles. Always right on the price.
Are you vying for favorite child this holiday season? Give a gift that screams, I love you, I thought about you, instead of, I found this in the bin at a gas station.
The perfect gifts and home decor are easy to obtain. When you shop the best in Squim, the place called Jungle Jane's.
Gifts for any budget and any style, all conveniently located on the roundabout in Squim by Costco.
This season is made all the more wonderful with a tour of trees happening this Saturday at Lavender Meadows in Squim. Enjoy beautifully decorated homes, dazzling Christmas trees, and you can win one of their amazing holiday gifts, including a Washington Wine Lovers Basket and other locally sourced gifts. Bring the family to Tour of Trees, 11 to 3 p.m. this Saturday at Lavender Meadows in Sequim, off Sequim Avenue past the library.
You know what you can't do when you shop online? Touch, feel, try. But here in Sequim, our local shops are packed with gifts for everyone on your list, with no shipping delays or wrong porch deliveries. Support local and shop Sequim, because the best gifts come from our local shops right down the street.
Full Moon Candle Company not only offers hand-poured, clean-burning candles and decadent scents, we also have candle holders, home decor, and additional gift items, costing pennies on the hour to burn. We truly have the perfect candles.
Sequim Habitat Boutique Store offers everything from unique gifts and Christmas decor to a new dining room table to host your holiday gathering. Sequim Habitat Boutique Store has treasures galore.
Satisfy everyone's gift wish win by shopping local in downtown Spin. Satisfy everyone's gift wish win by shopping local in downtown Squin.
A warm, happy holiday season to you and yours from News Radio KONP, Port Angela Squim, a Radio Pacific station.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Authorities say the suspect shown on surveillance video in 2021 wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt and placing pipe bombs outside the RNC and DNC headquarters buildings in Washington, D.C. was arrested today at his home in Virginia. Attorney General Pam Bondi at a briefing.
Brian Cole Jr. was arrested and charged with placing the pipe bombs at the RNC and the DNC on January 5th, 2021.
Bondi says he faces charges of a use of an explosive device and the investigation is ongoing. Luigi Mangione back in court today for an extended pretrial hearing. He's charged in the fatal shooting of United Healthcare CEO exactly 1 year ago today on a Manhattan street. His attorney's working to get key evidence dismissed, claiming police obtained it without a proper warrant. And the number of Americans filing for first-time jobless claims dropped to 191,000, the lowest level in more than 3 years. This is ABC.
I'm going to talk about fires, actually, about cooperative working between at least two agencies here locally, and kind of a unique geographical setup that we have. We've talked about this in the past, and that's with the Clallam 2 Fire Rescue, or Fire District 2 in Clallam County, and the Port Angeles Fire Department. We have the chiefs from each of those agencies here. We have Chief Jake Patterson with us. Hi, Jake. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having us.
And you brought along Chief Daryl Sharp from the fire department here in PA. Good to see you again, Daryl. It's been a while, so I'm glad to get you back in.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
So let's. I think we're going to talk a bit about the kind of the geography of this and how it somewhat forces you, I think, to try to have to work together if you're going to do it, because as we've talked in the past, Jake, you literally have to go through the city to get from one side of your district to the other.
Yeah, we do. It's kind of a unique situation. The two agencies that Fire District 2 encompasses and surrounds the city of Port Angeles. We often joke in a good way that we have to transit through the city of Port Angeles to get to one side of the fire district or another. And so a lot of times you see our agency going back and forth. Yeah, so it's just geographically, the city's in the center of our fire district.
And but with that said, you do have some agreement in place, because you know what? Sometimes it's well, you guys can get there faster. The fire department can get there faster.
Sometimes,
yeah, especially on the outskirts of town. I would just say this much: as a resident, I think people, they dial 911, they really just don't care. They just want someone to show up. Is that a safe thing to say?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Absolutely.
And Jake, I mean, and that's why I think a mutual agreement that you guys have kind of works.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not turning away these guys because I live just on the outside of the district if my house is on fire.
Yep. In today's day and age, we're always looking for efficiencies and way to work together to provide a better service to the citizens. And yeah, our crews trained together. I know we'll talk about that in a little bit here, but I think, the citizens just want to make sure that there's enough people that are qualified to help them mitigate their emergency.
Now, the city has its one fire station, which is in the center of town, essentially. And we're talking about you assisting Fire District 2, but in some ways, Fire District 2 can assist the fire department in the city when you get to some of the outskirts of town or close to the outskirts.
Yeah, so with our automatic mutual aid, District 2 is toned out for structure fires at the same time that the city of Port Angeles is. So we'll have both units or both agencies responding to the same address.
And that's helpful. I mean, because you've got more personnel arriving at a incident.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're hoping it's a small one, but you're ready if it's a bigger one that way.
Yeah, it definitely helps us get closer to meeting NFPA 1710 standards, where for a 2,000 square foot residential structure, the recommendation is 14 first alarm responders, 15 if a ladder truck is en route. And so having District 2 automatically toned and responding with us helps us get closer to meeting that standard.
I'm going to say that's a lot of personnel. I mean, you don't have that on staff normally, right? I mean, if you took your entire station out, you still wouldn't meet that.
Yeah, we have 8 that are scheduled on the 4896 with a minimum staffing of 5. But we do have a peak unit day car Tuesday through Friday. We also have a firefighter who's our inspector. And so we have
gets you close
9 on duty.
Right. Jake, maybe your perspective on that same thing from your side.
Yeah, and as Chief Sharp says, trying to assemble all those people together, you can't do it individually. So Fire District 2, we have 2 people on 4896 work schedule, and then we have a day car that also runs Monday through Thursday that adds a couple more. But in the evenings or whatnot, there's only 2 firefighters on duty in the fire district, so we rely heavily on our volunteer response and then the now automatic response from Port Angeles out to those fires.
How long has the automatic response been in place as we know it now?
As we know it now, I think it's been about a year or so. We had different automatic aid agreements, but it was little chunks here and there that really sometimes didn't make sense. And so we just kind of worked with our 2 agencies along with Fire District 3 to create a new automatic aid agreement so that we all just get toned out immediately, so each agency knows what's going on and can start sending resources as fast as they can.
So, this all has to do with call volumes quite a bit, because I've talked with both of you, and at any given time, you're not out on just one call. I mean, you've got multiple calls going all day long, all night long, for that matter. So how does that work? Daryl, let's go to you. From the fire department's, the city's perspective, funding perspective, all of that as well. Explain how you make an automatic agreement work in the bureaucracy of things, I guess.
Well, we first started by communicating back and forth between Jake and myself, and at the time Dan Orr with District 3. Now that's Justin Greider. And then, as we talked through this and we started looking at, okay, if what responses do we want to have an automatic response from each agency? So we kind of penciled that out, and then of course we took it to City Council, City Manager. And then Jake took it to his fire commissioners, and it was approved at both of those levels. So we were able to form a interlocal agreement, which then we kind of build the run cards, and those go to dispatch. And so dispatch, when they push a button, all these agencies are toned at the same time, and resources get on the road about the same time.
All right, so take us through, Jake, kind of a routine call that goes out. Say I've got a vehicle accident, for example. Who gets toned? How does that sound to your group, and then also the PA fire department group?
So right now our automatic aid agreements are centered on structure fires. We do assist we have a couple areas that are also EMS. So when we get toned out to a vehicle accident, we do the assessment of how bad it will be. Olympic Ambulance will also respond with us, as they do a lot of times in the city for most of their calls as well. And then if we need additional help, we usually call Port Angeles Fire for our mutual aid partner immediately. One of the other things that we do have in place, that it's been in place, for about another year, is a shared duty chief rotation.
Right.
So in order to keep a chief officer on call 24/7 between the 2 agencies, it was kind of burdensome. There's myself and Deputy Chief Denton, and you got Chief Sharp, and then you got Deputy Chief McKean and Division Chief Gage. And so rather than have an overlap of duty chiefs, we just decided that enter in another interlocal agreement, so we share duty chiefs. So currently today, I'm starting my duty chief rotation, and I'll cover both the city and Fire District 2. And so on more complex incidents, regardless of the automatic aid agreement, you may get a chief officer from either agency respond. Right. So complex car accidents or hazardous materials or those types of incidents.
Before you had that, though, I mean, I know that was some issue because you could have some holes, I guess, in getting chief personnel, people out, in upper management at least, on an incident, middle of the night on a weekend that 7 people are on vacation by chance, or things didn't. It's not always easy.
Yeah, it provides challenges, especially when you, like at the fire district, if you only have 2 chief officers, or for a year there for a while, I was the only chief officer, not to be on call 365 days a year. Mm-hmm. Still, at those times, if I was going out of town or whatever, I'd call one of the other chiefs and say, hey, I'm going to be out of town. Can you just keep your ear on the radio? This just kind of formalized that agreement so that it's better for us. We can set our schedule and say, hey, I'm not the duty chief this week. I can plan things to be out of area. And it provides the opportunity that if any point both the chiefs from fire district want to go to a training together, or all the 3 chiefs from the city want to go to a training together, they can, because they know it's being covered.
Yeah. You're nodding over there, Chief Sharp, about even though you have more, quote unquote, chiefs available to you that can plug in, you still there's a need for this even in your department to have coverage.
Yeah, absolutely. When Assistant Chief and our Fire Marshal Sanders retired, it left just 2 of us at the city for a considerable amount of time looking for a new fire marshal replacement, which Deputy Chief McKean ended up filling, and then we promoted within to acquire Division Chief Gage. But there for a while, it was the 2 of us back and forth every week. And so this automatic mutual aid, it does, or the shared duty chief rotation, it does enable, an entire department maybe to go to training. But it also enables multiple chiefs to respond, to an incident.
This goes back, though, that you guys have had a working relationship for a long time. We talked about this new automatic response, but there's been, I don't want to call it informal, but I mean it's always kind of been there. You share a lot of volunteers. There's always been kind of like, okay, we're going to help these guys out. They're going to help us out if we needed it.
Yeah, just as we're going back to the nature of geography, almost all fire departments help their neighbors. I mean, they're all in the same mission, the same goal. We just have that unique that we are on all sides of the city. And so we are the first mutual aid, automatic aid partner. And so the city and the fire district have had shared volunteer agreements in the past. At times, for several years, the fire district's administrative offices were actually co-located in the city fire station. Right. But as agencies grow and certain needs arise or are no longer needed, that can change. And so we can kind of see this melding or morphing of our automatic aid agreements to meet what the needs are at the time. So,
and Daryl, as we both had pointed out, your volunteer programs are now merged officially into one program. It's not just kind of a voluntary share. This is an actual written agreement now.
Yeah, we've got both volunteer programs where they're sharing a drill night, for EMS once a month, and with their response, to the volunteers in the district responding to automatic aid calls in the city and vice versa. The relationships that are being built there are being strengthened, each month, each year, as well as the training. You're getting these individuals training together, learning each other's equipment, their standard operating procedures, which makes for a much more efficient fire ground.
Yeah, certainly. If you're out helping each other out, you kind of all know what you're dealing with. It's not like a learning curve that has to happen on the scene, on the fly.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've seen over the years, the official formal volunteer programs actually became one, and then they kind of separated, and we're starting to see that come back together again. Mm-hmm. Again, as staffing levels increase, decrease, needs are there, and so we can see we're starting to work. I shouldn't say starting to. We continue to work very closely together, and we are looking towards the future on seeing what efficiencies can be created and help everything.
And from the trainer's perspective, this as well. I mean, this kind of does make some sense. Let's get everybody out at one time. Finding people to do the training is also an issue, right?
Yeah, and looking at our staff, we can sit down and go, okay, this EMT at District 2 needs to receive this training. It's the exact same training that the EMT at Port Angeles Fire needs to take, and it's the exact same training that the Fire District 3. And so we alternate not only a combined drill, but this month, the instructor for our EMS drill for the volunteers might be a Port Angeles paramedic. Next month, it'll be a District 2 paramedic. And so it helps not only reduce or increase the working relationship, it reduces the workload burden on each agency.
All right. I was involved back in 2010 or a little bit around that when this discussion of trying to do a merger between these two departments was being kicked around. It didn't go anywhere after that, but it certainly was explored for a lot of these same reasons we were talking about, the geography, if nothing else. But I think a lot of the hang-up had to do with the way you're funded so differently. One's funded kind of as a utility, as an arm of the city. The other one's done on a property tax, which is a bit different as well. But that said, I mean, it's been 15 years now. Times have changed. Does this come back up as a possibility down the road? Because we're hearing about this happening in a lot of places where, districts adjacent to a city, for example, start realizing we got to figure out a way we can do this more economically.
Yeah, I think across the state, Clallam County may be the only state or the only county in the state that hasn't had a rural, like an RFA or some kind of consolidation. So it's certainly something that we're talking about and looking at. There's been talks about maybe having a study done to provide some real-time data as to where efficiencies could be capitalized and where some mergers and that could be cost beneficial to the citizen.
Jake, your thoughts about that too? Again, I mean, you're kind of the hang up is on the funding because your budgets are driven differently.
Well, and that's like all our automatic aid and mutual aid agreements. They deal with, as you pointed out earlier, people showing up to an emergency, and that's almost the easy part. It's not very easy when you're looking at staffing and all those things, but everybody has the same goal and mission. But where it comes down to is the nuts and bolts of how do they fund it, because all that relies on funding and what the taxpayers can support and whatnot. So it's really kind of an interesting proposal, and we've always kind of had our ear to the ground or whatnot, kind of keeping it's always in the back of our brain. And so who knows, maybe in the future it will come more to the forefront. We're just going to explore different options, and how we do that is just taking away the low-hanging fruit by these mutual automatic aid agreements.
In a lot of ways, you're already you're operationally doing some of the things that would come with an RFA, but you're just not, you haven't fully merged it or figured out a funding mechanism that goes with it as well. It's an expensive business, though. I mean, that's the other part of this. How much does it cost for each of you? Maybe it's more for one department or the other, I guess, to get a career firefighter, trained up and in place. What are you looking at?
Yeah, for basic startup, we're about $35,000 to bring an individual into the organization, outfit them with all of their personal protective equipment. But we also, there's about a $17,000 part of that. That $35,000 is that we hire firefighter, EMT, paramedic trainees at the completion of their probationary year. We then send them to paramedic school. So that's a remote online paramedic training where we're able to keep them in-house and on shift, where they are able to go through the didactic portion. Then we send them back to Boston for a 2-week boot camp, and then they come back and do all their ride time with the fire department here, their hospital time with OMC. So that's a kind of a big part of that cost, but it's worked out extremely well for us, especially when there's a national shortage of paramedics. That we are fully staffed. We've got 3 individuals in paramedic school now that will be completed by the end of the year.
Yeah, and that's been I know a goal, but it hasn't been that way for a while, right?
No.
You had some holes for quite a while.
We had some pretty significant holes back in 2022, and since then we've gone from 2 medics on a minimum per shift up to 5 medics now per shift.
Which that also is helpful because your volumes are all about medical calls, right? Yeah. I mean, we talk about structure fires and your mutual response on that, but medical calls are driving what pun intended, what's coming out of the firehouse.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we have about 80% of our call volume are medical calls, and about 40% of those are ALS, so advanced life support, where they're being transported to the hospital, and then 60% are BLS. Many of those are transported to the hospital, but we have that agreement with Olympic Ambulance that they transport the BLS patients to the hospital when they're available.
All right, Jake, same question for you. Outfitting somebody to get them on staff with you, what does that cost, and kind of what is the investment level?
The cost is pretty much the same. There's a salary difference, obviously, the fire districts being a smaller agency, and then, you know, we don't require a paramedic certification for everybody, so we don't necessarily send everybody to paramedic school. We do have one firefighter EMT right now that is in paramedic school, and we're looking at supporting their efforts to get their certification so that hopefully they stay. But one of the challenges we face with the recruitment of firefighters in today's age is that when we both started in the fire service, you had a certain schedule, and that schedule is kind of centered around a shift on, a shift off, a shift on, a shift off kind of a deal. So you had more firefighters living locally. With the 4896 work schedule, firefighters can live outside the area, which means also local firefighters will work outside the area. And so we're in now competition with much larger agencies that may have different or better work schedules. And so we're now competing with their recruitment efforts as well, because people are highly mobile.
That's tough. So you got people who, like living here, and they don't have to, they can work somewhere else and still have the advantages of living where they want to.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So that's tough. How do you address that? Aside from trying to, I guess, hope for a pot of money that you can throw at people, but what do you do to?
Well, that ties into how we work together and like what's coming in the future. Again, the survivability of small agencies. And Chief Sharp said, I think Clallam County might be the only county in Washington State that doesn't have some sort of merger. And some of those mergers are two little small fire districts together or whatnot. Right. But it's really, how do we provide the efficiencies by coming together that we can then hopefully translate that into better opportunity for larger departments that can be more attractive to people to come work for us.
Right. Joe, I maybe should ask this earlier. How many calls is the Fire District 2, hitting like on a structure fire that's really in the city? Do you have any sort of number as to that?
Well, I know that we've done 85. We've either given or received automatic mutual aid 85 times thus far in 2025.
Right. That's a pretty significant number.
Yeah, it's about 1.5% of our total call volume.
And with that, and Jake's nodding his head as well, I mean, you're getting to those scenes probably faster, and vice versa. I mean, sometimes your call, we've talked about this in the past, sometimes you have to take a call out of your Gales Edition firehouse and drive them, halfway across town or south of town to get them to a call, which these guys could get to in half the time.
Yep, and that's what was kind of the real impetus behind the full automatic aid agreement. Because again, we had little sections that didn't sometimes quite make sense. Why is the first quarter mile within the agreement, but everything beyond that, because the city can get there faster. There's areas that the district can get faster in the city, and so we it just made sense to go all in and have a full automatic aid agreement.
As this has unwound a bit, is it turning out that it's kind of, I don't want to call it a wash, but I mean, you're finding that you're almost equally responding to each other's, calls are getting there first?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, we have, it's pretty equal between the agencies. Yeah. District 2, sometimes we're caught in the middle. Not caught, it's the wrong term, but we border Fire District 4 on the western border. We surround the city in the center, and we border Fire District 3 on our eastern border. So we provide more automatic and mutual aid, but it really between the two agencies, it's pretty equal.
Yeah. I live just south. I'm on Mount Angeles Road. I'm in the district, and I would just be more than happy to have the fire department show up if I call 911. And you probably would be the ones that would get to me first, most likely because of what I just talked about heading south. So, interesting. So I think that's educational. People know that that's an official agreement that you have right now, and I think people should know that don't wait a minute, that's the emblem on the side of that truck is not the one I thought.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Daryl, it's great to see you again. Thanks for coming in. Daryl
Thank you,
Sharp
sir.
is the
Good to see
chief
you.
of the fire department here in Port Angeles, and Jake Patterson is chief at Clallam 2 Fire Rescue. Good to see you again as well, Jake. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having us.
All right. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
This is the Todd Ortloff Show on News Radio KONP.
This season is made all the more wonderful with a tour of trees happening this Saturday at Lavender Meadows in Sequim. Enjoy beautifully decorated homes, dazzling Christmas trees. And you can win one of their amazing holiday gifts, including a Washington Wine Lovers basket and other locally sourced gifts. Bring the family to Tour of Trees, 11 to 3 p.m. this Saturday at Lavender Meadows in Sequim, off Sequim Avenue past the library.
Hello, this is Katie McCormick with Sequim Valley and Harper Ridgeview Funeral Chapels. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a new, exciting, and environmentally friendly development in the funeral industry. It's called natural organic reduction, or terramation. Perhaps you've heard of it. Terramation is a process in which the body, after death, is returned to the earth in a carbon-neutral, eco-friendly manner. The process takes place in a controlled environment, and all that remains is a natural, odorless, compost-like material. If you would like more information about terramation and advanced planning, call us today at Harper Ridgeview in Port Angeles or Sequim Valley Chapel in Sequim, and one of our knowledgeable and caring funeral professionals will assist you in answering your questions. Harper Ridgeview and Sequim Valley Funeral Chapels, because your loved ones deserve the best.
Visit A1 Auto Parts in Sequim and get ready to cruise. A1 Auto Parts in Marine has a wide selection of marine, auto, and trailer supplies, plus very expert knowledge, even custom-made hydraulic hoses while you wait. Whether land or sea, rely on A1 Auto Parts and Marine in Sequim to help keep your Northwest adventure moving. A1 Auto Parts, right across from Sunshine Cafe, Sequim.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Bobcat is offering a rare manufacturer discount, and it's big. Right now, get up to $20,000 off a Bobcat L85 wheel loader, E35 excavator, or T66 compact track loader at Brim in Carlsberg. We can't publish the price. You'll see why when you call. But trust us, it's the best price of the year on a new Bobcat. Find yours today at Brim Tractor in Carlsberg, your local Bobcat dealer.
Dear Santa, my mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate today.
Your community-minded friends at First Fed bring you the Community Corner, highlighting good things happening right here in our area.
2 great holiday craft fairs take place this Saturday in Joyce. The annual JBC Christmas Joy Craft Fair is 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Joyce Bible Church, where you can get in on the silent auction for decorated trees done by local residents. The JBC Christmas Craft Fair also features free cookies and coffee. Also in Joyce Saturday, enjoy the Crescent Craft Fair starting at 10 a.m. in the Crescent School Gym. Craft vendors and concessions set up, and there's a kids painting workshop that starts at noon. And in Port Angeles, the Farrell Marine Life Center invites your family to Cocoa with Critters, happening Wednesday, December 10th. Kids 3 to 5 will get to explore the life of humpback whales, sip on cocoa, and explore the sea life exhibits. Registration required, so contact Farrow today.
Community Corner, presented by First Fed.
Miss, your burger is served.
Thank you.
And if I may suggest a pairing, this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. The sweetness of Pepsi perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger, while the citrus and carbonation elevates the taste for a truly stunning flavor profile. Bon appetit.
Now that is one perfect combination. If this is how the other half lives, I could get used to this. Burgers, deserve Pepsi.
Stay warm, stay powered, and stay festive. Black Friday is blazing at Leeds Farm Supply. Clean burn pellets just $250 per ton, and home fire logs only $1. Need power? Grab Furman generators. 15% off. Need protection? Ghost openers come with a free solar panel. Plus, all Ghost accessories 20% off. And while you're in, treat yourself to 40% off Montana West purses. Leeds Farm Supply. Heat, power, and holiday cheer.
Hey, if you've been dreaming of new cabinetry, now is the perfect time to make it happen. At Hartnagel Building Supply, we're offering 15% off all cabinetry box orders, now through January 31st. Just mention you heard it on the radio. Each piece we offer is American-made and built to last. So whether it's for your kitchen, bath, mudroom, or garage, you'll know you're getting lasting quality and craftsmanship. We know it can be hard to find cabinetry contractors, and when you do, they're often booked out for months. That's why we handle the entire process in-house with our employee-owned team. From free in-home measurements to custom 3D designs and professional installation, we make it simple, seamless, and stress-free, start to finish. So come visit our showroom at Hartnagel's or go to lumbertraders.com/CAB to start your project. Or call us at 360-417-8385 to connect with our cabinetry team. We deeply appreciate you for shopping local and employee-owned.
The Straight Country Music Series, presented by The Straight 102, brings Pacific Northwest favorite Amanda Lynn Bacon to Field Arts at Events Hall in Port Angeles for a special concert weekend, a Saturday night show and a Sunday matinee. First up, Saturday, December 13th at 7:30, it's Amanda Lynn Bacon, a tribute to Patsy Cline. Amanda's powerful vocals and the award-winning Black Diamond Junction Band bring Patsy's greatest hits to life. Walking After Midnight, I Fall to Pieces, Sweet Dreams, and Crazy, among others. Then join us Sunday, December 14th at 3 p.m. for Amanda's Tinsel and Twang, a warm Christmas-themed matinee filled with classic country holiday favorites and a few other twists, too. Tickets are $16 to $36 for each show. Buy online or skip the 5% card fee by visiting the Field Hall box office Monday through Saturdays 10 to 2. Don't miss Amanda Lynn Bacon live in 2 unforgettable performances, December 13th and 14th at Field Arts and Events Hall in downtown Port Angeles. Thank you for making us part of your life all year long. And as we wrap up the year, we wish you a happy holiday season. For News Radio KONP Port Angeles Squim, a Radio Pacific